Subscribe for the very latest.
Play it, Daddy.
Chord Room, more than a podcast.
If you're just tuning in into the Chord Room, you know what I'm saying? Home of everything black and hip hop. We rep all of that. Sports, hip hop is everything. So yeah, we're gonna talk about sports, right? Chris Webber. Let's talk about the man, because you know what? He's a very interesting guy, man. If you don't know who Chris Webber is, let's start here. Let's start here. Number 4 sitting in the chair, Mr. Chris Webber. He was a part of this legendary group called the Fab Five. Oh, and Fab Five is hip hop.
Cool.
Fab Five is hip hop. This is college basketball's most hated, which I agree.
Well, between them and Christian Laettner, that Duke squad,
It's
neck and neck.
I mean, they wore, when everybody was wearing them short shorts, they was wearing the baggy shorts.
All black shoes.
Right.
All black Nikes.
They was the rebels of the game. And Chris Webber was a part of that. Right? And they went through their struggles and they trials and tribulations. That's a whole nother story that we can get into. But we're gonna stick with Chris Webber. Right? Chris Webber finally gets drafted. Right? He was drafted by the Warriors, correct?
Right.
Correct. Yeah, he should have been. He was technically going to go to Orlando, but they did a trade.
So he got drafted by Orlando and he got traded.
Well, Orlando had that pick, and they was like, "Nah,
okay."
They didn't want Shaq and Chris Webber.
Ooh, that would have been crazy.
That would have been great. Yeah, that would have been a matchup. That was for Penny, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
that's the Penny.
Oh man,
yeah, that's why they do it.
Dang, that's the way the NBA could be right now if certain things were to happen. Right.
a very interesting what if for sure.
Right.
For sure. He was saying that if he didn't get hurt, man, he wish he would have been able to play in this current environment right now in the NBA. So.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but Webb didn't really have too many injuries, right? Compared to Anthony.
Not really. I think that one that when he hurt his leg, I mean, was it his knee? It was his knee, right?
I think it's me.
Yeah, pretty sure it's his knee. Is his knee or his back? That messed him up.
He had to
change up his game. He had to change up his game to help deal with it to continue to play. He was out for a little bit, but he came back and did his thing. He did. He came back.
So
for his Warriors days, definitely.
Balling, right? Chris Webber was balling. What's your thoughts about Chris Webber?
I think he was in some aspects I think he might have been ahead of his time a little bit, but he was definitely a force to be reckoned with. Somebody that really has some like amazing ball handling skills, and I wonder if his name gets brought up in the conversations when they talk about the greatest players of all time.
No.
Nah. They not. And why do y'all think that though? Why Chris Webber is not like? What do we? Are we? Because my thing. All right. So my thing is this: are we talking about like tarnished career, like things that might have stained his career, or are we just saying that he just wasn't that nice? Because he
was definitely nice.
Right?
He was definitely nice.
He was nice, but he wasn't that. He wasn't. When we talk about the greatest players of all time, that's not a big list. Like that's, like he's not that elite. Like
he not top. He's not even top 50.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Like it's you get a little selective, but like okay, Chris Webber is a power forward, right?
Yes.
Okay, so to credit Chris Webber, I'll say this, right? Chris Webber's peak is the best basketball he's played. He is not a slouch against anyone. If you have the very best version of Chris Webber on your team and you're going up against another all team, Chris Webber will hold his own against that other team's power forward. If it's Tim Duncan, KG, they're gonna give him work, but he'll hold his own. That was the best that Chris Webber ever was, and that's probably his meat years on the Kings.
Rookie of the year, right?
I believe he did win. I think he did.
He was rookie of the year in there, 1994.
He won.
First of all, did you say the meat? That's yo brother. Come on.
Oh, my bad. Pause. Yeah.
Yo, I'm sorry.
I try to let that go, dog.
Yo, that was wild. But
the main duration of his career. So
it's a good one.
Yeah. So I'll say that instead.
Hey, listen, he averaged 20 points. He averaged 20.7 points.
Yeah. 2010 guy.
Rebounds.
It was a big rebounder, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he held the title for rebounding, I think, in 1999. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he's a great supporting cast. Like he's a part. Like he's that guy. He's Mr. Reliable when he's healthy.
They went to the conference finals, right? The Sacramento team, and
that early 2000s. Yeah, they just kept going against the Lakers, and
that was the only team that was beat. That's what I say. Like the very best version of Chris Webber can rock with the best. That's what I'm saying. He can rock with the best, and he was the MC. Like he was the main player on that Sacramento team, and that team was good enough. They really pushed the Lakers a couple of times, and this is the Shaq Kobe Lakers.
Yeah,
that's how good that team was. So when we're talking about, that's why he has a dog in the fight, as in someone saying he's top 50. It's just that like it gets kind of harsh because when we start talking about the best players of all time, we can't even say he's the best power forward of all time. We can't even say he's the best, like he's top 5 power forward all time.
So you got Kevin Garnett, Charles Barkley, Dirk, Tim Duncan, Dennis Rodman. He not Dennis Rodman. He ain't Dennis Rodman.
I mean, I would probably take Chris Webber over Dennis Rodman, but Dennis Rodman next to the right guy is invaluable. So if he's next, that's a tough decision. Yeah. I mean, KD is technically a power forward. At least now he is. Chris Webber he's just not as good as those guys. And he's really good. But the guys that you just mentioned, they're all better than you. Like they are all better than you. And those are some of the greatest players of all time. He's better than Sean Kemp. To me, he's better than Sean Kemp. He's got more to his game than I'm sorry. Sean Kemp is nice. He's crazy athletic, can dunk, crazy wing, and he had that mid-range jumper. But Chris Webber is
he didn't. Yeah. Well, so what about his impact for like the teams he went to? Like, because when he went to the Warriors, him going to the Warriors actually helped to like get them start to get them like good. And then he went to the Kings. He brought them to prominence too. So is that something to be looked at and applauded?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Like he got to them conference finals and they competed against him. It's just that like they just were not good enough. Like him, Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, and what's his name? White Chocolate. Jason Williams. Like they had other players too, but that's not enough to beat probably the only other team besides the Bulls, the 3 team. Like that's, of course, that team is good, but they're not good enough to beat them. Like that's, and when we look at that, like that's just the fact. Like he was really good, but when we look at him compared to what Dirk Nowitzki did, he beat LeBron.
Yeah.
And he beat LeBron on the way after beating KD and Kobe in that same year on that run. That's something that Dirk Nowitzki did. Tim Duncan won 5 championships. Like KG went from one team to the next and won the NBA Finals. He wasn't the Finals MVP, but throughout the most of the year and the chunk of the playoffs, like KG was the best player on the team. So when we're talking about, and he was MVP, Chris Webber is like the tier below that. Like he's like right below that. Because Chris Webber, I don't think he ever.
So he in there with Chris Bosh?
Yeah, that's something that you could compare it to. Yeah, somebody like Chris Bosh. But I don't probably.
Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh and Amari Stoudemire.
Because you still got Pau Gasol.
Right.
You still got
Jermaine O'Neal.
He's a center. Well,
yeah,
actually,
he's a 4 too, but Jermaine O'Neal is like
mix and match. You know what I mean? Like you can play center.
I'm taking Chris Webber literally because he lasted long. Because Jermaine O'Neal had like 2 super hot years, and then it was like
nothing.
Yeah.
Sean Marion.
No, I'm taking Chris.
Yeah, something that's nice.
Yeah.
Not with that Bill Cartwright shot. Hell no.
Yeah, he was kind of quirky with the shot.
Amari Stoudemire is someone like kind of compared.
What else?
Yeah, like he could have been, but I would say that C Webb is still a better player.
Okay.
So, like, C Webb was legit the guy on that team. So even when he was on the Warriors, he was playing with Latrell Sprewell, right, Chuck?
Yeah.
And it was killing. That's a dope team. That is a dope Warriors team.
Putting hands on people.
Does Run DMC together with them?
No. That's after.
After. Oh, that's right. You're right. That's after. He started like '93, right? Maybe somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. They were the '90s team that was holding it down for the Warriors, but that was a tough team. That's a tough team, a tough, talented team. And then Latrell went to the Knicks, and then he went to the Kings. But yeah, even when he was still the MC on that team. And Latrell Sprewell is, for those who don't know, Latrell Sprewell was a dog back in the day. He is nice. He's one of them NBA players that's like, dang, bro, like,
what if?
If you just was a little more humble, you could have.
You just didn't choke a coach out. That.
Hey, stuff happens, man.
Yo, when he was on the Knicks, Latrell Sprewell is probably one of my favorite Knicks. He's one of my favorite players. But my Knicks, he's definitely one of my favorite Knicks.
Hey, ain't gonna hold you. The trail came out with them Sprewell shoes. I'm like, hey, fam, this is what we're gonna start right here.
Hey.
What's wrong with the shoes?
We're gonna say them for another time.
My bad.
We're gonna say those we're gonna get to those. We're gonna get to those a little later. I don't want to start a conversation on those now. We're gonna get to those. We're gonna get to the Hey, Latrell, listen. We're gonna get to those sneakers, my brother.
Oh yeah,
Don't
think because some years have passed, we forgot about it.
Wow, yo.
Because he would have been able to feed his family if he got them sneakers right. He would have been able to feed his family.
Hey, we know what you did. Yeah, we're gonna address them sneakers, my brother. I'm sorry, we got you.
All respect to your game, though, because
your game was cold.
You held it down.
We gotta address them.
Wow.
So yeah, Chris Webber, phenomenal player. like I said, he's respected as a man, you know, in terms of like, I mean, he had some issues with a lot of players. He did have some issues with some players, especially, you know. But I think as time went on, I think that I say that Chris Webber has a strong pivot. He's like he went from basketball straight to announcing. You know what I mean? And yeah, exactly. So he was respected in that area. You know what I'm saying? With
actually not bad.
Right. Yeah.
He got better.
Right.
He got better as the years gone by.
Mm-hmm.
I think according to Yahoo, I looked it up, that he made about maybe around $178 million playing.
Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Right. So he you know that, and I say that because I think that goes to show his value. Right? Like, you know, and like Trim was saying, how when he goes to a team, he putting in work, right? Like he's doing what he has to do to make sure his team goes to the next level, right? But I want to also talk about his shoe.
Deep in rap, graffiti, break dance, and DJ and B-boy stance. MCing, I harness those artifacts, collecting data of the transitions like an almanac. Hip-hop ain't dead, these young boys different, adapting. Over time, every day the world's spinning. Let's celebrate the fact we still winning, we global. Kids from the project became moguls. Real to real track boards to Pro Tools, vinyls, cassettes, and the tape decks, CDs. Now you can stream your music to the consumer direct and get most of the check. I'm noble, and with that, I gotta respect that you ain't gotta accept that you can ride and get left, yo. Bars beyond ground level.